Hi there, Prairie Girl here. Are you wondering when it's okay to harvest your winter squash? I was just going through my squash and I have a small couple of pumpkin plants over on the other side. Now this was either a Casper pumpkin that didn't grow to full size, or it was part of a baby jack mix which has small white pumpkins in. This would be a little bit large for those, so I'm not sure what happened with this. Maybe it cross-pollinated? I don't know. But anyway, so I was looking at it trying to decide if it was a white pumpkin that was needing to grow larger or a small pumpkin that got too big. But the plant was dead and full of powdery mildew, and I was pretty sure the pumpkin wasn't going to grow anymore anyways. So I just decided to just give it the fingernail test and push my thumbnail into it there just pretty firmly, and it doesn't leave a mark. Has a real hollow kind of sound, and seems, nice and hard on the bottom. Stem is firm, and it's ripe. It was ready to be picked. I just didn't realize it was back there. But then I thought, well, these are celebration mixed squash, and it's the first year I've grown them, and they were supposed to get all sorts of streaking and coloring, like how this one here has all this this mottling, but it was also supposed to get green streaking on it, but they're all supposed to be a little bit varied. So that, well, I mean, the plant's obviously dead. So that, well, I'm just gonna check. And yeah, I can make just the slightest dent by pushing hard on with my thumb, but it's not breaking the skin. The bottom is firm, the stem is hard, and they're all like that. So I think this was just the variation. Maybe they didn't quite fully get all that coloring because the plant died back, but they're definitely ready to be harvested. Like, it can be harvested and they should store well. So I'm gonna take these off, and then I can get this this vine cleaned up. Oh, we'll see, this one's soft at the top, but where it actually attached to the vine is hard. So find this one here. And you can hear that hard clip when I clip it, like the stems are hardened up. Oh, and it's starting to get green on the bottom here. So I think that was just the natural coloring, and maybe they would have colored more if the plant had stayed alive longer, but I think they look pretty good. So I've got a little bit of a collection there, and I thought I'd go see what else I have. I have a few more baby jacks over there that I think are ready to harvest, so let's go have a look. So I put some baby jacks and one Casper pumpkin in this. There's some down in a little bed between my main raised beds. And then I think I actually have a plant stuck into this raised bed where my brassicas are. And they were going up on this trellis, and they've gone across, and there's some in back behind the sunflowers. So I'm just going to kind of dig around in there and see what I can find. So the vines are dead, so I'm just going to kind of pull them out as I go, and then it'll be easier to find if there's pumpkins on them. Oh yeah, there's another one back here. When you grow them in tight spaces like I do, sometimes you wind up with a pumpkin you didn't even know about. That one has actually broken. You can see the stem is broken off the plant already. So we'll see what it looks like on the bottom. I don't know how long it's been down there. That's a nice, cute little pumpkin there. So yeah, I think these are some Caspers that just didn't get to their full size, because they're definitely bigger than the baby jacks normally get. I know I have at least one baby jack over there, so I'll show you the size difference when I get to it. But it's firm, solid. It was definitely ready, and it just came off on its own. And it's such a dry summer, and then just a ton of rain right at the end of August, and it kind of, everything just got sick all at once, and I was busy in August. Didn't deal with it properly. It's like fishing. Oh, the sunflowers have it. And look what I reeled in Here's a baby jack. Oh, and its stem is too hard for my little snips. So that's more the size that the baby jacks usually are. I've grown these for years. They can be not quite so squat, or they can be like this. But I don't think I've ever had one get quite to that size. So I do think this must be one of the Caspers that just didn't quite grow to full size. I can't remember if this was supposed to be a Holden or a Renegade. I think it was one of those. And it's just set fruit now. It got, I think, overshadowed too much by the other plants that were in here. When the garlic grew up here, I think this wasn't getting enough light, and I couldn't get it to stay on the trellis back there. So I'm quite certain we won't get any fruit out of this because we don't have enough days left. But it's really tangled in here with my peas and potatoes. So I think I'm just going to leave it for now. So this is my baby Pam pumpkin, and it's looking pretty nice. Skin is quite firm. I can barely make a dent, but I can't actually break the skin. Now there's another one growing on this same vine over, it's spread its way over towards the other fence, the corner of my garden, and it hasn't even colored up yet. But this one, you know, the tendril has dried off. It's the first example I think I've been able to find for that for you, but there's a tendril here that's completely dried off. It didn't really get curly, but the bottom is hard and firm, the stem is firm, and the skin is firm. So this one's ready. I don't know if these clips will do this. Thick stem. Oh, it did. So there's one more little pumpkin. Baby Pam is a pie pumpkin, so maybe we'll get some pumpkin pie out of it. It's not a very big one. We'll see. So I know that green one isn't anywhere near ready, but maybe let's just have a look at the difference in the stem and the color. Maybe that'll help to see the difference. So I know it's pretty shadowy over here, so hopefully you can still see the difference and see how the stem on this has shrunk up. It's gotten hard and dry. It's lost some of that moisture to it. The bottom is nice and hard, whereas this one still has a blossom on. It's still kind of soft in the center. It has that growing point, and the skin is soft. Like, I can easily pierce it with my finger, so hopefully you can see that. With my thumbnail there's definitely a mark. And obviously the color is different. So this one definitely isn't ready. I don't think with our weather that it's probably going to mature, but I'm going to leave it for a little bit just to see. You just never know. But that's one more, you know, just a good example that you can see the difference between one that's mature and one that's not. Now this is obviously it wasn't, but shows you some of those characteristics. Try and set this where it gets a bit more sun. Now, growing along the fence here, I had a Casper pumpkin, and it went up that trellis and then wanted to go back through all the potatoes, and I had a heck of a time with the fruit. The fruit just wanted to rot and fall off, so I don't think there's anything worth harvesting in here. Let's have a look. I can see one little something poking out there, but it certainly isn't pumpkin shape. See what's going on there. So this is the strangest looking pumpkin I've ever seen. Hopefully you can see it there. This crazy blossom end on it. Big soft stem still. And the rind, I can tell, is still quite soft on it. Just if I can push on it. It has quite a lot of give to it. Now this looks like it wants to rot, just like all the rest have. I think it just maybe wasn't enough sun. Maybe in this area, I don't know. This is one of the healthiest plants I have. No, hardly any powdery mildew, anyways. But it just didn't want to mature well. So I don't know, I'm going to cut, there's quite a bit more to this vine here, and it's actually trying to form another fruit, but there's no way that little fruit back there is going to mature. So I'm going to cut this off, and and try and set it out into the bed next across the way here, which should get a little bit more sun. Try and reach it over there a bit, and maybe, but I don't think this is going to develop into anything, but it's just such an interesting shape. I'd like to see what happens with this. That's not going to develop. It's just not enough time. So over here I have a cougar pumpkin. Hopefully you can have a good look at it here. So this one again, obviously not ready. Big thick stem on it still. Lots of healthy green tendril, soft flesh. The bottom is getting harder, but still has some give to it. So again, I'm not sure this one's actually going to be able to reach maturity before the cold gets it. But I'm going to leave it and see what happens. Now I have a zucchini here. And you want to remember, a zucchini is a summer squash. It's not part of this winter squash category, so we're not looking for the same things. So with this, I have just a really small one back here. You probably can't see it. With this, you know, I'll cut it when the stem is still soft, the skin is still soft, it's nice and young, and you can eat this summer squash because you're going to eat these right away. You're not trying to store them. So I'm going to see if I have any more zucchini. This one's still a little bit younger. Could have let it get a little larger. But just take it for example here. There's another zucchini where the flower dried up. Sometimes they'll fall off for you. But again, you know, soft stem, soft flesh. That's what you're looking for with those. And you can harvest these at any size you like. If you want to get them really large and use them for baking, then do that. If you want them small like this to just eat fresh or in a stir fry or something, then pick them at that size. So here's my tiny little squash harvest for this morning. It wasn't a great haul of squash this year, but given the conditions we've had and the year we've had, I'm happy with this. I have actually been eating East Elite squash for probably at least a month now. I've been harvesting and eating the East Elite. I think I have a couple still in my cupboard, so I'll try and get a shot and throw it in here. They're just a green, I think they're an acorn buttercup. I can't remember. You think I would know these things. But it's a green, a nice squash, and I've been enjoying it, just roasting it and baking it and just eating it like that. So yeah, I have those. I've had, I don't know, probably at least a half a dozen of those. And then now I have these 3 Celebration, a couple what I assume are Casper that are on the smaller size, just one little baby jack. I usually get a lot of baby jacks, but again, not a great year. And one little sweet little baby Pam, which is a small pot pumpkin. So. And then I just cut these couple of zucchini while I was out there. So of course these are a summer squash. These need to be eaten right away. These are winter squash. And the ones that are for eating, which is all but, I don't think the baby jack would be a very good eating pumpkin. These are all ones that you can store and eat throughout the winter, just keep them in a nice cool place. I think they want kind of average to higher humidity, but double check that and see. I just keep mine quite often in a cool area of my house, like in my basement, and they store well, but just double check what your humidity is and what they need for the different varieties of squash. If any of you are wondering, if you've followed along and watched my early videos about what I was going to be planting this year, and you're wondering how did that Wild Bunch mixed squash pack come that I was going to plant in my front yard, it didn't. I got 3 plants that I grew for that I'd planned to put out in my front yard just decoratively, to get some just wild zany shapes and sizes of squash. And I just put them in with my regular plantings, and they just, again, just too dry. I could not keep up with watering them. The plants in that area are native plants. They don't need as much water, and it maybe wasn't as good of an idea as I thought it was in the beginning. So those plants, they're still out there. They're growing, but they're small, they're sparse, and they haven't produced any fruit. So I won't see anything off of them this year. But it was a fun experience. I think I've learned something from it, and I'll give them a go next year. I still have some seeds left. But hopefully this helped you to know when to pick your squash, what you're looking for, and just let you see what I've been getting out of my garden this year. So thanks for watching. Bye.